The St. Helens School District has a new acting superintendent after the previous one was put on administrative leave. Ashley Grams will break down the new superintendent's duties and how long he has in the role. And later.
We expect the sales price to be north of $75 million for sure.
A hefty price tag for Oregon's largest ski resort. Mount Bachelor is up for sale, and now the community is coming together to try to buy it. We'll explain why in just a few minutes. And
so David, if you haven't figured out, we're doing this story because I'm the one that needs help on how to learn how to carve a turkey.
And then at 6:45, Rod is going on the job at Portland's oldest restaurant and learning the correct way to carve your Thanksgiving turkey. Good morning, and thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. Rod, this morning we are also checking out the Vancouver waterfront. We have a shot courtesy of photographer John Goodwin out there. A heads up, the annual holiday tree lighting is happening this Friday at 6 p.m. at Astor Short Park, just a few blocks away from there. There will also be a ton of activities along the waterfront starting at 4 p.m. So hopefully some good weather out there for folks.
Yeah, it looks all nice. I haven't been down to the waterfront over the holidays now I think about it to see the lights they have up there. We are watching fog. The map's showing the widespread fog setting up on the west side. Scappoose, Hillsborough, 1 mile visibility. McMinnville, a half a mile visibility. And then down into Salem, also reduced visibility. So we're keeping an eye on that. Temperatures have not been a concern with one exception so far. Now, Forest Grove is falling off 34. When you get freezing temperatures with fog, you can get frosty conditions that can put down some icing and make things slick. The one spot we have been watching is McMinnville, earlier 31, now 33. We're well above freezing so far in Portland and Salem. In fact, PDX is at 44 degrees, obviously no concerns there. So mixed bag of foggy conditions out the door. We'll look for some sun breaks during the day, mainly dry weather, light winds, 47 degrees at noon. We may or may not get up to 50 for a high. Here's Chris.
Rod, one trouble spot on the roads right now. We take you to I-5 near Swan Island. Southbound I-5, there's a crash in the shoulder here near the going on ramp, and you can see traffic is getting around that just fine. But just to let you know, we're watching it. The rest of our drive this morning is in pretty good shape, minus, of course, the fog that we've been talking about. There's I-5 through Tualatin. Southbound I-5 near the 205 interchange. Again, the headlights there are slipping quite easily through the fog this morning. We'll take you out to the west side, or excuse me, door number 4 takes us out to the west side. Photojournalist Eric Patterson is cruising through downtown McMinnville, all lit up and festive this morning. No major trouble on that side of town. And if you are, speaking of festive, air traveling over the next few hours, right now, no air travel delays across the country. China?
Thank you for that, Chris. Our top story this morning, a new person is leading the St. Helens School District. The school board named a new acting superintendent last night amid ongoing abuse investigation. Ashley Grams joins us now from the newsroom with more on this. Good morning, Ashley.
China, good morning. The school board meeting yesterday didn't take long. The board voted unanimously to appoint Dr. Steve Webb as acting superintendent. His contract with the district will last 90 days. Webb was the superintendent at Vancouver Public Schools from 2008 to 2021. He now takes the lead in St. Helens after the current superintendent was placed on leave for allegedly failing to report allegations of abuse at the high school. During the meeting last night, the board acknowledged it will take time to repair trust with the community. Here's what Webb had to say.
I'm humbled by the opportunity to give the St. Helens community the answers that they're looking for and a renewed sense of confidence and trust in their local schools. I intend to share a specific plan of action over the next several days with the entire community.
The district says Webb will focus on stabilizing district and school leadership, listening to stakeholders, and addressing long-term needs. As for the principal of St. Helens High School, they are still on administrative leave. China?
Ashley, thank you. In the meantime, striking teachers in Albany are set to lose their health insurance this coming Sunday. The district says only, quote, active employees are covered under state educator benefit rules. The state teachers union is expected to cover the cost of COBRA policies for its members to maintain their insurance. It appears classroom sizes and adequate staffing are hampering the agreement, with the strike in its 3rd week now. Teachers will be back on the picket lines at 7:30 this morning and will hold what they're calling a health care rally an hour later at 8:30 a.m. You have until 5 p.m. today to cure your ballot if it was flagged for something like a signature mistake. 3 weeks past election, and those final votes in one Oregon House district in particular here could end up having major statewide implications. KGW's Elma Carney takes a look at the race for House District 22.
In the 20 days since Election Day, Oregonians have found out most of the projected winners. But in Marion County, one of the races is still too close to call.
In the House, it looked like there wasn't going to be any movement at all. And then this one district in the Salem area, District 22, the late votes seem to be moving towards the Democrat, and the Democrat has taken a slight lead.
That Democrat, Leslie Munoz, hoping to beat Republican Tracy Kramer, the incumbent. As of Monday, only 149 votes separate the two, with the Marion County Clerk confirming the ballot curing process is still underway, with nearly 500 ballots in the district still listed as unaccepted. Throughout the entire county, the clerk says more than 3,000 ballots required a signature verification before the votes would count. And elections officials sent out this letter to those voters in an attempt to cure them. But in District 22 especially, he tells me there's been a concerted effort by the campaigns and the parties to cure as many as possible. That's because a supermajority is on the line.
What is a supermajority? You know, the way people talk about it, it's like there's a majority with a cape on that's trying to fly through the air. All the supermajority means is that you need 3/5 majority in a state house, the Senate or the House of Representatives, to pass tax measures.
Pacific University politics professor Jim Moore explains to pass other bills, it's not really necessary, but it is a requirement to pass specialized taxes and has been since 2005.
So it's what Oregon came up with, and we the people voted on it and said, yes, we want 3/5 in both houses in order to pass anything that's a tax.
Believing transportation will be a big issue in the upcoming legislative session, he gives this as an example.
We have a gas tax, but electric cars don't pay it because they don't go to the gas pump. And hybrids, use lower amounts of gas and things like that. So is there some kind of a tax that could be put on electric cars and things like that?
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Oregon Senator Ron Wyden is pushing for answers as PGE looks to increase rates by double digits for all of its customers in 2025. That is on top of the other recent rate hikes. Senator Wyden sent a letter to PGE President and CEO Maria Pope asking several questions about the latest request, details on previous rate hikes, and how PGE is working to reduce costs. Since 2021, electric bills on average have grown by more than 40%. The latest request, if approved by Oregon's Public Utility Commission, would see rates jump nearly 11%.
Oregonians just coming up to me on the street are literally all about these electric rates. And a lot of folks in our state feel like they've just been hit by a wrecking ball. 41% over the last few years.
In a statement, PGE says it is taking the senator's letter seriously and plans to respond, adding that in the process of modernizing and strengthening its grid and is working to keep the cost of electricity as low as possible. A final decision by the commission on a rate increase is scheduled for just before Christmas. And as we head into the holiday season, Pacific Power is warning customers to watch out for scammers. They tend to be more active this time of year. Often they'll tell you that your service is scheduled to be interrupted and they might demand immediate payment to avoid disconnection. So if you feel a call is suspicious, ask the caller to state your account number. The company also asks you to report information about the call to them. Mount Bachelor is enjoying its earliest start to ski season in years, but that is not the only big thing happening at the Cascades Resort. Its owner, Powder Corps, has put the resort up for sale, and that has some locals dreaming about owning the mountain themselves. Chris Porter, a high school teacher who lives in Sun River, is part of a community effort to make that purchase.
We are really looking at this as a community broad tent support. That means the entire enthusiast community.
I think it's fantastic, and I really hope it happens. The whole big corporations buying mountains has been terrible for mountains. You see it at Crystal, you see it at some of the other ones, and Powder Corps. We were a piggy bank for Powder Corps.
It could be challenging, though, since the expected sale price is more than $75 million. The goal is for accredited investors to put up the initial funding. Once that's in place, the goal for the public to participate through initial public offerings of stock options. And an early start season of, skiing and snowboarding was predicted by the Rod Hill.
Yeah, so far that's looking good, right? I think Timberline was saying it was one of their top 10 earliest seasons since they've been keeping those records going back 50 years. Both Meadows and Timberline still have more than 50 inches on the ground. Now, the forecast is dry, meaning no new snow coming between now and your holiday weekend. The next front showing up on the weather models with confidence would be Thursday of next week, so ways out. We have some just frivolous traceable amounts of showers scattered widely across our 2 states this morning. This is a day that eventually we'll see any shower activity cut off, and we'll get into the absolutely dry pattern we've been telling you about through Thanksgiving Day. You can see the cloud deck is low, so absolutely foggy up in the West Hills by this vantage point. 44 is the temperature. We know we have a lot of fog being reported out in Washington counties, Columbia counties, and all the way down toward Salem this morning. Salem's at 41, Portland 44, 34 over in Bend. Charlie Jean is our KGW dog of the day on this Tuesday. Use that hashtag post on your social media channels. Hopefully we'll find your photo and your dog will become our dog of the day. Here's a look at our forecast map for today. Traceable amounts of showers, that's it. So really lots of dry time everywhere. 30s to about 40, so cool out east. Timberline 27, snow level for flurries today as low as 3,000 feet, but that would be it, just some flurries. Then upper 40s to about 50 degrees here on the west side. And here is your 7-day for the holiday weekend. Basically dry weather. Fog to sun is the pattern today, tomorrow, and on Thanksgiving Day. Now, as I've been mentioning, when you have a light wind pattern, which we do have, there's no guarantee that if you get a lot of fog in your area that you will clear. And if you don't, you would struggle to get up to about 41 or so any of these days, including Thanksgiving Day. So these numbers would represent getting some sun. I've taken out the chance of any rain on Friday, and we get a bit of an east wind flow, which should help reduce fog and give us beautiful blue skies this weekend itself on Saturday and Sunday. And that is your forecast.